50, 45, there goes Davis. Oh my God! Davis is going to run it all the way back. Auburn's going to win the football game. Auburn's going to win the football game. He ran the missed field goal back. He ran it back 109 yards. They're not going to keep him off the field tonight. Holy cow! Oh my God! Auburn wins. Auburn has won the Iron Bowl. Auburn has won the Iron Bowl in the most unbelievable fashion you will ever see.
Welcome in, everyone, to a brand new edition of The Dream Wager, episode 472. Today is Monday, November 25th, 2024. And this was a bad weekend for kickers, man. How you doing today?
Yeah, a lot of kickers are definitely stressing after today, but it is what it is. It was a lot of definitely close games in the 1 o'clock window. Exciting day. Let's get into it.
Kid, I'm having my lemon ginger tea right now. Are you a tea guy?
Nah, not really. Personally, I have a cup of coffee,
Yeah.
so often, not every day, but a tea I could pass.
So, you weren't feeling well a few weeks ago. Now my throat's starting to fuck with me a little bit. Change of weather. 1 week it's 70, the other week it's 30 right now. So it's been fucking me up a little bit. So got some tea. I'll say this. I like the lemon ginger. I'm not a tea guy either. You know me. Used to work for a coffee company. Like my cup of coffee every day. Tea, sneaky good, kid. Good on the throat. It's relaxing me. So we got a nice cup of tea here for this episode. But kid, it was a good week in the NFL. Bad day for kickers, but we'll get into that. We'll talk about Thursday night as well. Jameson, he's a national treasure, and people need to respect him, man. They need to protect him at all costs. But yeah, week 12 in the books. Week 13 of college football as well, kid. I am sorry, but Alabama is out. I mean, after that pitiful performance over the weekend, they don't deserve it. I don't know if you caught the game, kid, but we were talking shit about Oklahoma, and Oklahoma boat raced them. Did you watch the game?
I wasn't able to catch the game though, but I caught glimpses of it. It was nasty. It was nasty. Give credit to Oklahoma because they just, like you said, they boat race Alabama, and Alabama don't deserve to be a top 12 team.
Yeah. So we'll see. I know that the fans down in Tuscaloosa are not happy about that. And we got the Harbaugh brawl. Well, bragging rights, especially around the holidays. We'll talk about Monday Night Football, Ravens and Chargers. We know that is going to be a good one. And we got a big NBA slate on Monday. 9 games, kid. 9 games. I was looking at the standings. You guys are better than I thought. 6-10 right there on the brink of playoffs right now. Early in the season, about a month in. How we feeling? 6-10 with the Nets so far.
I told y'all the over 18.5 wins was a lock. I could almost guarantee it. Maybe I was off about Ben Simmons, most improved player of the year. Yes. It is what it is. But as of right now, the over is looking good. That's all I can say, Dill.
Yeah, the over is looking good right now. Knicks at the 4th seed, 9-7. I'll say this, floating above. Magic actually doing really well without Paolo Banchero, so that is good to see. Cavaliers finally lost a game against the Celtics. I'll say this. One thing you were right about over the 18.5 wins, one team you were wrong about was the Golden State Warriors. They might be a top 5 team. They are playing really well, but we'll get into that in just a little, kid. But we'll go back. I want to talk real quick on Thursday Night Football. Browns defeat the Steelers in a snow game at home, 24-19. Jameis Winston, the man, 18 for 27, 219 yards. His speech, I mean, that's why people believe in Jameis, and everyone loves him, even his old teammates. Everyone lines up to say what's up to Jameis. He is the national treasure. Good call on Jerry Jeudy as well. He had 6 catches for 85 yards. But, I didn't think Russ played all that bad. 21 for 28, 270. He didn't turn the ball over. But he got sacked 4 times, and Myles Garrett let everyone know at home he's the number 1 defensive end in the league. Thought the comments were kind of cringe, if I'm being honest. Thoughts on the game and thoughts on Myles Garrett's comments after the game?
To be honest, the game went exactly how it went. How I said it would have went, Dill. I said the Browns are live. We I don't know if you like the 3.5, but I like the plus 3.5. hit the Jerry Judy over, and I hit the points over. It dropped. What? It started at 41, went to 36.5.
36, yeah.
I was like, "Dude, that number is too short. Maybe 39.5. I would have stood away, but 36.5, give me the other." So I was just happy I was able to nail a Thursday night on the side, the total, and a prop. So to me, that was amazing. And like you said, Russ played pretty damn good. I understand the offense was stuttering a little bit. It's 2 weeks in a row. I think it went 6 quarters without a touchdown. Deal that one to Vivi and Austin was a dime, by the way. But Justin Fields came in, ran the ball, kind of jump started the offense just a little bit. But you know, give credit to them. But it was Cleveland's Browns day. It was Jameis day. His pregame speech wasn't the greatest, but it was pretty damn amazing, if you ask me, Dill. And then Nick Chubb coming out of nowhere with 2 TDs, first touchdowns of the season, coming off of injury, and he did it when they needed it the most. Look at it still. The Browns are 3-8, not a
Yeah.
good team. They're 2-1 against they're 2-0 against the Steelers and the Ravens.
We said that though, kid. These are the type of games the Browns win, where everyone counts them out. And I was on the Steelers, laying the 3.5, total wrong. But we did hit on the over, and we did hit on Najee Harris, his rush attempts. I think it was at like 14, 15.5. He got 16 for 41. So we did hit that. I saw you hit your Jerry Judy as well. But those are the games Cleveland wins. But they might be playing themselves out of a top 5 pick. Coming into the game, they had a top 5 pick. With that win now and everything kind of falling where it was after Sunday, they have the 8th pick sitting there at 3-8. Jets got up to number 7. They're helping the Jets now, kid. But do you think it's because I know that obviously the players want to win, but as an organizational moving forward, you really want to lose these type of games, right?
I would say yes, but at the end of the day, we know Jameis Winston. He's not about to go out there and purposely lose a game. I don't think Kevin Stefanski is going to go out there and purposely lose a game.
Yes.
So yeah, would it be the ideal thing to tank for possibly your future quarterback? Yes, absolutely. But are you gonna also tell the locker room, you know what, just shut it down for the rest of the
Yeah.
season? Absolutely not. There's 5 weeks left in the season. Though after today, who says the Browns can't win out and possibly have a 10, 20, 30% chance of making the playoffs? I think that I'm not saying it's possible, though. All I'm saying is if they win out, they will have a shot. That's all.
No, I was
That's
saying
all.
what you said was painful. There's only 5 weeks left.
Oh yeah.
That's
I know.
painful, kid.
I realized that still not for nothing earlier when I realized it was 8 games this morning. Well, at 1 o'clock, and then there's only 3. Then I realized I was like, shit.
A lot of teams on a bye.
It's week 12. I'm like,
Yeah.
it's 18 weeks in the season. I'm like, it's not good. It's not good, Dill.
It's crazy because the NFL season flies by, but when we're in the off season, it's so slow. It drags. So yeah, it's flying by. That it just came out of your mouth, and I was sitting here. I was like, 13, 14. I was like, oh,
He's right.
shit, he's right. I was like, damn, I don't want it to be 5 weeks left. But my question to you now, 2 questions. One, when are we going to see Nick Chubb being Nick Chubb? Or do you think he's still dealing with something? Because I don't think he's 100%. I'll give him the first 2 weeks coming back, be like, okay, he's kind of getting in the groove of things. But it's been several weeks now, and he's still not Nick Chubb.
Yeah, I would say next season. At the end, he's
Okay.
coming off a torn ACL. Yes, he had the 2 touchdowns. That's nice, but his longest rush was 7 yards. We know that's not Nick Chubb. We know what he's capable of doing, and we know what an ACL injury. Not everybody's Adrian Peterson, people. I understand that happened about a decade ago, but not everybody's AP. People are going to need some time coming off of ACL. And I think we possibly see maybe not the same old Nick Chubb, but some of that old Nick Chubb next season.
Are you worried moving forward with Pittsburgh, or is this just a tough individual road spot for the Pittsburgh Steelers? Because I still think they're a good team. I would caution people thinking they're a really good team. Is that fair?
I still say they're a really good team. At the end of the Browns is a division. This is why I took the Browns, divisional matchup. The coach knows this team very well. And like I said, any given night, I'll give a shot for Jameis Winston to outplay anyone.
Yeah.
Any given night, not for all 5 week stretch, just for one game. Jameis is viable to do that. He didn't outplay Russell Wilson, but he played well enough to win the game, and it did exact that. No touchdowns passed still. He did run one in, one interception, but Jameis got the job done. And at the end, if I'm the Steelers, I'm sitting pretty. I'm eating three, hoping Baltimore loses tomorrow, so I don't need to worry about the division too much still, because Bengals going nowhere fast, and we see the Browns. So I'm just worried about the Ravens, and if I'm Mike Tomlin, the Steelers, we're doing just fine. You lost to the Browns. It's
Him
okay.
running in for that touchdown and then his communication piece falling out and still converting that 2 point conversion.
The community that piece needs to go to the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, I tell you, I had the biggest smile, and I was the guy who laid the 3.5. I was just so happy for Jameis
Mhm.
Winston. He said he's never played in anything like it. It's glory just playing in something like that. So I am happy for the Browns as well. So big win for them at home. They improved to 3-8. Let's get to Sunday, kid. I do want to start with your Patriots because you thought this would be a close game. I had a feeling, this was a game. Dolphins playing much better with Tua. Tua looked great, kid. 29 for 40, over 300 yards, 4 TDs. Jalen Waddle went crazy. 8 catches, 144 yards. You guys really didn't get going till the fourth quarter. I don't want to say Drake May played bad. He didn't play good, though. This definitely wasn't his best game. He can run the ball. I'll say that. The kid can run the ball, but just no one really good. Demario Douglas came on a little late. Austin Hooper had that big 38-yard catch late on fourth down, but outside of that, you guys were able to stop the run, but you were not able to stop Jonnu Smith or Jaden Waddle. This was the game I kind of saw going this way. What do you think went wrong for the Patriots?
you know, Realistically, our offense struggled early on. First half, it was just basically a shutout. Give credit to Miami. Like you said, Tua's looking good. He's honestly in rhythm. Tyreek not really having a big season, but Jalen Waddle had a career day. This is 2 weeks in a row where Jonnu Smith has big days, 80 plus yards with a touchdown. Al Kane. I know he didn't run the ball well, but he still found the end zone, 2 tutties catching them. So you know Mike Daniels did a great job coaching. And like you said, Tua's looking pretty damn well. Got to give him that. And then, like you said, Drake May didn't play well today. To me, in the first half, he played horrible. Second half, he showed some life. He showed that, what? He's still a rookie learning and going through the flow. So at the end of the day, we're a bad team. Not expecting too much. Miami, on the other hand, they're a good team that just was dealing with injuries. Now, at 5-6, Dill, are they live? Do they have a chance? As of right now, Dill, Miami is in the thick of things. They're one game out of the seventh seed. Denver, they just got that win. They're 2 games out. I apologize. So Miami's still live in the thick of things. We know what we say. They can't play in the cold, but hey, watch out for Miami. That offense is rolling.
I'm so happy you brought that up because I was going to ask you now. They're rolling. Offense is playing good. Sitting 2 games out with 5 games to go. I think they're live in a lot of these games. Their defense is playing well. I think with Tua healthy, this offense is very talented. I think they could play spoilers and maybe make a crack at the playoffs. Now, I do want to see them playing in the cold. That is obviously a thing that we need to see. But what are your odds you think them making the playoffs are? I think they got like a 30 to 40% chance. I don't want to say half, but they got a good shot.
I'm gonna go half though, realistically, just because you got to go from experience. So you really rely. Would you bet your hard-earned money that the Broncos, with a rookie quarterback, is gonna outwin Miami and Tua for the rest of the season? It's gonna be tough. I gotta look at both
Yeah.
schedules to look, but as of right now, they just gotta outwin Denver for the rest of the season. They'll not give them a shot to. You know, can can let's just say a team like I highly doubt. Right now, Baltimore's sitting at 6. I highly doubt Baltimore slips up the last 6 games this season because we know they play tomorrow night. Chargers right ahead of them. I highly doubt Chargers slipped up that much as well. So
What
it
do you think
comes.
the key number is? 9 wins? 9-10 wins in the AFC to win? Because I'm looking at it right now.
Denver's 2 games away from the 9 wins. I'm gonna say Miami might have to win now. I'm gonna
Win
say
out, right?
9. I'm gonna say 9. Go 4-1, go 9-7. But that means Denver has to go 3-5. I mean, yeah.
Yeah,
No,
three and
no,
five.
yeah, 3-5 for the remainder of the 5 weeks. To me, that'll be tough. I gotta look at their schedule, deal. But realistically, is Miami has to pray Denver loses out.
Yeah, right now they have a 14% chance of making the playoffs. I think that's a little low. I think the Ravens get in. I think the Chargers get in.
Houston is in, Bills is in,
I
Kansas
don't
City's in.
know if Houston is in. We'll talk about them, but
Wait. You think they lose the division?
yeah, I think the Colts could come back. I mean, the way you texted me, I'll pull it up. Texans are frauds.
Yeah.
And
They
I
can still
agree.
win the division. A lot of bad teams win the division every year, Dill.
That's fair. Look at the Falcons.
Look at the Cowboys.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Last year.
New teams every year win the NFCs. But no, I was just wondering. This is a team I don't think a lot of people want to play down the stretch right now, because I feel like they're finding their rhythm a little bit with the Miami Dolphins. So, yeah, big win for the Dolphins, 34-15. I wanted to start there in the 1 o'clock window, but let's go to a game where we thought there was too many points, where they kind of maybe were looking ahead towards Thanksgiving, but they continue to roll. Lions 24, Colts 6. They win. They wind up covering the 6.5. Game goes way under the total of 49.5. This offense just didn't look good for Shane Steichen and Anthony Richardson. I didn't think he played well at all. 11 for 28, 172 yards. They weren't able to run the ball at all. Jonathan Taylor couldn't do anything. Anthony Richardson had more rushing yards than he did. And outside of Michael Pittman Jr., they couldn't get anything going through the air. Jamison Williamson had a really good game, and we know that 1-2 punch with Gibbs and Montgomery's going to continue to deliver. Another good game for Jared Goff. No touchdowns, but no interceptions. He was only sacked 3 times. Another good win for, a lot of people are saying the Lions are the best team in the NFC. This might be the best team in the NFL. We got to stop marginalizing them and saying just the NFC, kid.
Yeah, NFC is the better conference. Still.
That's fair. Yeah, I would agree. Yes.
Still, I'm not gonna touch too much on this game. I'm gonna just say this about Jared Goff. This is a type of game where if he just has 3 tutties in this one, this puts him more in the MVP conversation. But the fact that they won this game, by 18 points, he played great. I mean, he played good, but not great. He played good, but didn't put up the numbers to elevate him to that MVP conversation. So he got the wins. Hopefully he gets to the number 1 seed deal. But to me, Jared Goff, if he would have just threw a couple tutties in this game, he would have put himself right there. But hey, it is what it is. Hopefully David Montgomery injury ain't too serious. But
yeah,
Lions are the best team in football.
Hey, we hit it right on the head. Not how we drew it up, but Bears plus 3.5, kid. It was crazy because they were down 24-10 going into the fourth quarter. They scored 17 points to tie the game. They had every opportunity to win the game. I thought Caleb Williams had played pretty well. Outside of the sacks, 32 for 47, over 340 yards, 2 touchdowns as well. They weren't able to run the ball with DeAndre Swift at all. Caleb Williams had a pretty good game on the ground, but DJ Moore had a touchdown. Keenan Allen had a touchdown. They took one away that was iffy. It was a borderline play, but I thought he had
a touchdown, but it was a deep play by Keenan Allen.
Yeah, it wasn't a touchdown, but it was a nice throw. And outside of Jordan Addison and TJ Hawkinson had a really good game, and they kind of shut down Justin Jefferson till late where he got the 2 catches, but Jordan Addison went crazy, and TJ Hawkinson, welcome back. This was his first big game back. Aaron Jones had a good game. I think he had a fumble, but outside of the fumble, he rushed for over 100 yards. Sam Darnold didn't have any turnovers as well. But, if I would just look at the box score, you'd be like, oh, they kind of blew out the Bears. But no, Bears played pretty well. They got the strip. Owens, I think he's married to Simone Biles. He had the strips in the end zone early in the game. I think it was the first quarter. Thought the defense played well for the most part.
Dill, this is a game. If you didn't watch it, didn't have your hands on, you'd be like, "Oh, Chicago is there." Now, Chicago got a couple, balls and things to go their way. Minnesota could have easily won this game by double digits. End of the game, uh, what? Damn, I forgot the name of it. Fucking
Who?
onside kick.
Oh
No, the
yeah.
onside kick. I don't know what it was coming to on, but the onside kick deal. It touches the Vikings player. Chicago ends up getting the ball. They kick a field goal. End of time. Couple late touchdowns in the fourth quarter where I think the Vikings honestly took their foot off the gas a little bit. Give Chicago credit for fighting, but to be honest, Minnesota's 9-2 right now. We gotta start talking about them like they're 9-2. Dale, Sammy D was great today. He was regressing. I will admit that, Dale. You did call it on. He did take a step back, but I think he just took a half a step forward, Dale. This is what 3, 4 straight games they have won. Hasn't been pretty. I'll give you that. Hasn't been pretty, but they're winning these games. Give credit to the defense. Aaron Jones running the ball really damn good. And the fact that Justin Jefferson was honestly shut down, Jordan Addison, great game. TJ Hawkinson, great game. Defensively, we know what they could do with Brian Flores. Give credit to Chicago for making things interesting, but Minnesota was full control of this game to about 4 or 5 minutes left of the game.
Yeah, it did not look good, but yeah, sitting at 9-2, they're not going to win the division, I don't think, because of
Well, they
Detroit.
only a game.
That's
Chicago
fair.
could slip, but I highly doubt. I agree.
But
I highly doubt it.
they're sitting at the 5 seed. It's kind of crazy that they're sitting at the 5 seed at 9-2. The Packers, they're at 8-3 in the 6 seed as well. They both have a 97% chance of making the playoffs. They're going to be in the playoffs. I know they regressed a little bit, but if you're a Daniel Jones fan or if you're a Giant fan or you're a Jet fan thinking, hey, Sam Darnold is living Sam Darnold is living proof that you could come back and rejuvenate your career,
Yeah, look at Baker Mayfield. We wrote him off. Look at Gino. We wrote him off.
They ain't right back though.
Yeah.
Ain't not writing back. I'm mad at Gino. He fucked my lockup, but we'll get to that in a little.
He fucked my parlay up.
Let's get to Baker. He was throwing shade to my boy Tommy Cutlet, throwing up the little I don't even know what it's called. Like for my Italian Americans, it's for my paisans out there. But Baker's a baller out there, man. Even when Bucky Irvington was breaking one, he was out there in midfield throwing blocks. Baker's a guy you want on your team now. 24 for 30, great game. 294 yards. He didn't throw one, but
did everything else.
Did everything else. Bucky Irving, they just found a gem. I fucking love Bucky Irving. Coming out of Oregon, getting drafted last year in the 4th round. This guy is a fucking stud. He does everything you want him to do. 12 carries, 87 yards. He had a touchdown. Rashard White had a touchdown. Baker had a touchdown. Sean Tucker had a touchdown. 4 rushing touchdowns on the day. Tommy DeVito didn't look good. Let's just call it what it is. 21 for 31. Drew Lock should have been out there. He was getting blasted as well. They brought pressure on him. Tyron Tracy didn't have a good game. No one really had a good game rushing the ball. Malik Neighbors tried to do everything he did, but you saw they were frustrated. The fans were leaving during the 3rd quarter. It was a bad game, kid, because it was it was 30-0 going into the 4th quarter, and they got that one meaningless touchdown. But welcome back, Mike Evans, 5 catches, 68 yards as well. No touchdowns through the air, but it was nice to see him getting going as well.
Yeah, Dale, this was the lock of the week for me. Tampa -5, 5.5, whatever you could get. I don't know how it was just at 5. Coming in, Tommy DeVito. You got the Bucks coming off a bye week, off 4 or 5 straight losses, and they had a great game. Give credit to Todd Bowles. To me, tremendous defensive game plan. Baker, he did everything but throw a touchdown. Like you said, ran the ball for a touchdown, was blocking down the field. He looked amazing. And Mike Evans always hit his over as well. I said anything under 60, take his over. He went for 68, Dill. So we went 2-0 on this game. But shout out Tampa Bay. I knew this was the lock of the weekend.
Yeah, good job on that. I should have laid the 5.5, but it wasn't my lock.
The easiest play.
Yeah,
you gotta off a bye week. Todd Bowles, Tommy Cutlass. With all due respect, Giants are just a bad team.
Let's talk about a game that was fucking crazy up until this fourth quarter. The last few minutes of the game, Cowboys big win on the road against the Washington Redskins. Lost 3 in a row now. Not good. 34-26. Say what you want, but Cooper Rush played a hell of a game, I thought. He missed some throws, but he made some throws as well. 24 for 32, over 240 yards. He had the 2 touchdowns as well. I think he outplayed Jaden Daniels. He threw for a little more, but the 2 interceptions weren't good. He rushed for 74 yards as well, but I'm telling you, I still think he's hurt just a little. And I think obviously the story of the game has to be the kicker, Austin Schubert. It's funny, kid. I was watching the game with Ant, and when Terry McLaurin scored that touchdown with 28, 30 seconds, something like that left. If they tackle him in bounds, the game's over. The game's over. And Ant looks at me and we're like, oh my God. And I look at Ant and I go for 2. End the game. We talk about Todd Bowles and the Kansas City Chiefs on Monday night a few weeks back, and it winded up burning them. I was like, he's a coward. He didn't win the game. You can't let Pat Mahomes do that. And what does he do? They go out and they lose the game. Dan Quinn wanted to kick it. And granted, his kicker has been lights out for majority of the year. And what happens? Fumbled the snap. Shout out the holder. He still held it, I thought, pretty well, but it wasn't enough to ensure the kick. And he winds up losing the game because of that. And Ant looked at me and said, yep, should have went for the 2. So I'm dying on that hill, kid. First, thoughts on the game, and 2, would you have went for 2 if you were Dan Quinn to win the game?
I would have went for 2 just because I lost 2 straight games.
Yeah, I agree.
That was my former team. I was a former defensive coordinator. I'm not playing for it time. I'm going for it at the throw, especially how the last 2 minutes of the game went. Back to the game. Still, I was on this game like white on rice. I had the under people. It was 10-9 going into the fourth quarter. It was looking lovely. I had the plus 10.5. That was easy. I knew the Cowboys was gonna fight for this one. I just had a feeling Mike McCarthy was gonna do his best to outgun Dan Quinn, and he did that. Give credit to the Cowboys for pulling off an upset. Commanders losing 3 straight now. If I'm a Commanders fan, I would say worry a little. You gotta worry a little bit, but at the end of the day, you know, you're ahead of schedule. Let's just say you lose out, right? Let's just say you lose out. Let's just say you lose 4 out of the last 5 games. That would be what 7 out of your last 8. I still think it was a successful season, though, in my opinion. Jaden Daniels, he's gonna be something special defensively. I got something to build from. Lonshawn Mattimore, he's gonna be back eventually. I don't know when he's gonna be back, but at the end of the day, if this is all she wrote for Washington, to me, it was a successful season. With Cooper Rush still, some people could make the case he should have been started since week 1. Who knows? This is 2 back-to-back games where he played pretty well. Rico Dow ran the ball pretty well. Turpin did amazing things with the special teams, but let's just be real, people. If the last 3.5 minutes ain't go so crazy, Dallas would have just ran away with it.
He hit that spin move on the kickoff was crazy. The spin was insane, I thought. And then they clocked him doing 26 miles an hour. I thought I was like, yo, he was moving. He was moving, bro. 2 things. One, I got to push back because you were calling for Trey Lance. You said we need to get him in for Thanksgiving against the Giants. So you were calling for him. I'll agree. Cooper Rush has played better than I anticipated him playing. I'll say that. And 2, yes, I believe in Jaden Daniels. I think he's been really good. But 2 things could be true at once. 1, Bo Nix is playing better than him right now. And 2, I think Jaden Daniels has regressed the past 3-4 weeks. Ever since he got hurt, those ribs injuries. Is that fair to say he's regressed?
Yeah, he regressed still. At the end of the day, he's a rookie. He's a rookie quarterback. There's more film on him now. And it was just a tough matchup. These past few games, Baltimore, Steelers, even Chicago off the Hail Mary deal. It's been a tough couple of past 4 to 5 weeks. So gotta give credit for them for stringing along these games. But tough 3 losses, 3 straight.
And you mentioned the Redskins kind of being maybe having a successful season and maybe not. I don't know. Correct me if I'm wrong. It kind of sounded like maybe you didn't believe them getting into playoffs. They still hold the number 7 seed, and Arizona losing kind of helped them. Rams, we'll see what happens Sunday night. 49ers doesn't look good. Buccaneers, I don't think they'll be able to catch them. But Commanders, even with the loss today, 64% chance of making the playoffs. I agree. I still think they're a playoff team. Now, I don't know if they're going to make a run or anything, but I still think this is a playoff team. Do you?
Judging off the last 3 weeks, no. I'll give. You got to see who's trending upwards. And right now, Commanders are trending downwards. Still, Seattle's trending upwards, coming off two impressive wins off San Francisco, off Carolina Cardinals,
Arizona.
Arizona's today. So those are two impressive wins. Now they're marching up. Remember before prior to that, Seattle lost what, four straight games or
Yeah.
4 out of 5 games. Look, they're on the up and up. Rams, if let's see what they're able to do tonight against Philadelphia, one of the best teams in football and in the NFC. They win this game. Guess what? They're just one game back. So I told you last week, I think during our power rankings or the episode before that, I have one of the teams in the West, two teams out the West still. I'm gonna go with them. I'm gonna say the Rams make it, and either Seattle or Arizona wins the division. I have the 49ers missing the playoffs.
Yeah, I do too at this point. I just think they're extremely banged up. So we'll see
But
about
would I
that.
be surprised if the Commanders, win 3 out of the last 5?
No.
No, I wouldn't. All I'm saying is I just trust Sean McVay and Matthew Stafford a little more. That's it.
Yeah. We'll see what happens Sunday night football. And also, like you said, there's still 5 weeks left. So some dominoes have to continue to fall. Good game. Good call. Panthers plus the
Woo!
I think it was 11 and a half, 10 and a half, whatever you're able to get. They
Yeah.
covered it. And I thought they were going to, you texted me saying, I hope they win it. I hope we get free football. That's what it was looking like. But Patrick Mahomes, I mean, he just finds ways to win. He had that nice, what was it, 33-yard run to get into field
Felt
goal
like
range.
50.
Felt like 50. It felt like kind of that Super Bowl run. Remember where he kind of was sneaking out and just had enough speed to get past the defenders, man. This guy just finds ways to win. Wasn't his most impressive game. I'll say the Chiefs. I thought he played well. Besides the 5 sacks, I didn't think the offensive line played all that well. The Carolina's defense was getting after him, but 27 for 37, 269 yards. He had the 3 touchdowns, 2 to Noah Gray. DeAndre Hopkins had that nice one as well. Kareem Hunt ran the ball well. They couldn't stop the run. Chuba Hubbard had a nice game as well. Bryce Young played okay, 21 for 35, 263. Didn't turn the ball over, just 2 sacks. That was the big thing. Offensive line played well for Carolina. Say what you want. In a loss, nothing to hang your head about. Nothing to hang your head about, kid.
Yeah, for the people that was really watching this game, the Panthers were live, throughout the game. I know Kansas City had double-digit leads and whatnot, but if you really pay attention, especially in the first half, Kansas City got bailed out on a lot of third downs, on a lot of holding calls, especially in the first half, a little bit in the third quarter. Every third down is feels like they got bailed out by a holding penalty. Did Carolina hold? Possibly, but it seemed like every third down, Kansas City got bailed out. Give credit to Carolina. I think Bryce Young played well. This is 3 straight weeks now where the Carolina Panthers just played pretty damn good football. Defensively, they got something going. They was able to get 5 sacks on Patrick Mahomes. Let's not forget, people. This is one of the best offensive lines in all of football. One of the highest payrolls for the offensive linemen as well. So, give credit to Carolina for almost stunning one of the best teams in football and the former champs in the Kansas City Chiefs. Travis Kelce had himself a good game. Noah Gray, like you said, 2 tutties. But to me, Carolina was just right there. A lot of people thought, I was just playing with the plus 11, 11 and a half. But at the end of the day, Kansas City has it covered all year. And Carolina, something's brewing there. I'm not saying, hey, watch out or anything like that. But past 3 weeks, Carolina's been improving.
Yeah,
That's
if you
all.
were watching the game, like Elvis said, the whole game, they were in it. They were just hanging around, kicking those field
And
goals.
not for nine. Real quick, though.
Yeah.
Steve Spagnuolo really couldn't stop that offense still because every time, Kansas City scored, guess what? You
They
know,
answered.
3 minutes later, guess what? Carolina's in the red zone. So give credit to them. I think what's his name? Nick Kasakis?
Who?
The coach,
Oh, Dave Canales.
Dave Canales. Hey, we gotta start giving him some credit. It started rough, still. It started rough. These past 3 to 4 weeks, still, he's been doing his thing. He's been doing his job. He's
They
just doing
actually
his
look
job.
like a competent football team. They've been losing, but they're competitive now.
Hmm.
At least they're competitive, and that's what you want. And Chuba Hubbard is the real deal. I'll say this: we talk about J.C. Horn a lot. Thought some of the calls were iffy, if I'm being honest. Some of the holds. I thought they gave it to him because they were the Chiefs. Let's be honest.
Exactly. There was a lot of penalties, and like I said, the Chiefs got bailed out, and it was all. Let's just say I don't know the exact number of penalties. Let's just say it was 10. 7 of them were on third down.
Yeah.
I promise you.
They got bailed out a lot. Let's go to the frauds of the week. The Texans. I mean, this is bad, bro. Like, I really don't think this is a good team at this point. We were talking about the division. Like, obviously, Jacksonville and Tennessee, they're not going to win. But Tennessee has a good defense. I always get bought into them. I'm like, damn, they could stop the run. Joe Mixon couldn't do anything today. CJ Stroud, we've been saying it all year. He's regressed. Just bad interceptions. Just really bad interceptions. Will Levis, obviously. I think there's a point. There's a point or an argument to make. Will Levis outplayed CJ Stroud today. So, yeah.
Remember in the preseason when he was like, "You're too high on the Tennessee Titans." This is what I envisioned, Dill. Will Levis, 18 for 24, 2 tutties, 1 bad interception.
That was a bad interception.
But besides that, he played pretty damn great, Dill.
Yeah.
Ran the ball for 10 yards. Tony Pollard had himself a monster game.
Yeah.
Westbrook and Keeney, huge game. King, that 170-yard touchdown. That was a great throw by Will Levis. Still, he played well enough, and he outplayed C.J. Stroud. Dill, like I said, this is why I envisioned from Tennessee in the preseason. It took 11 weeks to do it, but I can honestly say this is Tennessee's most impressive game all year.
100%.
Defensively, yeah, they let up 27 points, but they slowed down C.J. Stroud. Nico Collins had himself a big game. Tank Dell had himself a big game. You know what they were able to do? What no teams honestly was able to? Slow down Joe Mixon. Joe Mixon, 14 carries, 22 yards. I had him in my fantasy team. I lost. Trust me, Joe Mixon didn't show up. Give credit to Tennessee. Very impressive when Will Levis had himself a day. Tony Pollard had himself a day. And defensively, Dale wasn't great, but they played well enough.
What is wrong with Houston? That's my question to you, because one week we'll be like, oh my God, the offense looks good. Joe Mixon, they can't stop him. They get Nico Collins back. CJ Stroud looks like his old self. And then they come out and they don't look good here. There's too inconsistent for me, especially when they're laying a big number like they were, 7.5, which is why I teased them down. I thought, okay, they might not cover, but they'll maybe win at least by 1, maybe a field goal. Like, the inconsistency is just too much for this team, and I think that is why I have a hard time buying into this Texans team this year. I like D'Amico Ryan. I thought Will Anderson actually had a really good game with a few sacks. But outside of that, I really don't trust this team moving forward. And yeah, they'll probably get into the playoffs because they're in an awful division. But this isn't a team you could trust in the playoffs, kid, because I can. I don't know about you, but I don't like this team.
Dale, I said it a couple of weeks ago. This Texas team, to me, is frauds. They're no longer in my contender category. I said it a couple of weeks ago, and today it proved my point. I thought I gave them some hope last week. With Nico Collins back, they look good against the Cowboys. At the end of the day, it's just the Cowboys. And the fact that you lose this game against a bad Tennessee team, they're at home. At the end of the day, CJ Stroud, he regressed a little bit. To answer your question, Dill, he regressed a little bit. He's not not playing at the same level he was his rookie season. And defensively, You got to put a little on the head coach on D'Amico as well because
Yeah.
defensively they took a step back. I understand. They added Danielle Hunter this offseason. He showed up today, but
Yeah.
other than today, Dale, he's honestly haven't been that impactful. And who else they signed this offseason? Stephon Diggs. He's been hurt. He's out for the rest of the season. So that's another player that you added. He's not able to get there no more. So that's the subtraction deal. And who else you added? Joe Mixon. He was non-impactful today. 22 yards rushing. So you need moving forward Joe Mixon and Hunter to start, being very impactful. Joe Mixon was doing his thing, so I'm not gonna blame Joe Mixon on today. Today's just one bad day, but Hunter needs to play like he played today, moving forward for the rest of the season. Because Texans most likely gonna back their way into a division title, but come first week division wild card weekend, they're gonna be in for a tough fight, and I just want to know if they're gonna be ready for it.
Yeah, no, we'll see about that. It's not a team I want to bet on. Let's go to Las Vegas. The Broncos. This was a game. This is what my lock should have been. I believe I'm a believer, like I said, and I think he's gonna win Offensive Rookie of the Year. Man, I really do. He's really developed under Sean Payton. They cover the 5.5. Game goes under the total as well. No, goes over. Excuse me. Goes over 41.5. Tough news. Literally 5 minutes ago, Rappaport broke Gardner Minshew will miss the rest of the season. He broke his collarbone. So,
All right, not horrible. It's only 5 weeks. Collarbone
but
6.
Desmond Ritter's awful.
Yes.
That's the bad news. That is the bad news. So, I mean, Bo Nix was another really good game. 25 for 42, 273, no turnovers, 2 touchdowns. Weren't able to run the ball that well against this defense, but Cortland Sutton had a good game. Thank God, because he was on my fantasy team. Marvin Mims, like I said, he's starting to develop into this system as well. Defense really locked it in. Besides Jacoby Myers, this team kind of locked down everyone else. I thought Brock Bowers was going to be the one to kind of get what he wanted, but Jacoby Myers had a awesome game. But they weren't able to run the ball either with McCormick. Tough team. Raiders now fall to 2-9. They've lost 7 in a row, kid, and they have the number 3 pick in the draft. What do we do moving forward with this team first, and then thoughts on Bo Nix and his continuing to develop?
With the Raiders, though, I'm tanking. Right now I'm eyeing a top 3 pick. I'm looking at Shador. I'm looking at Cameron Ward. I'm looking at somebody like that. Still, you need a savior. Defensively, you're okay. You got some pieces. Offensively, you got Brock Bowers. To me, he's already a top 5 tight end. Argue with who you want. He's a top 5 tight end. Uh, like you said, my boy Myers, Jacoby Myers, he's been a steady wide receiver. I understand he's not a household name. He's a former Patriot. He could get the job done. Might not be a true number 1, but he's consistent. You could count on him moving forward. The Raiders just need a quarterback deal. Maybe Antonio Pierce. We'll see where he goes moving forward. But if they could just
He's gone, though, right?
if it was up to me, I'll give him another year.
Oh, really? Even with a quarterback coming in?
Yeah, I think he's still a great defensive mind. If you get the right offensive coordinator, I'll give it another shot. Me personally, and then with the Broncos, though, like you said, I agree with you. I think Bo Nix, after this game, should definitely be somewhat in the front runner of the conversation of offensive rookie of the year. 7-5 right now, couple straight wins. Denver's looking pretty good, though. Looking pretty good. 2 touchdowns, 273. Didn't really run the ball well, but we know what we could do with his legs. The team didn't really run the ball well. Sutton, another huge game, 2 tutties. Valet, good game. Mims as well. So I'm glad to see that the guys on the outside are being more consistent, these past few weeks that we saw early on. Give credit, Sean Payton definitely turned his team around, sitting at 7-5 still, and don't look too fast still. Denver right now sitting at number 7 in the playoffs.
Maybe you could help me look it up. I'm trying to look up for offensive rookie of the year, but just right now, DK only has the MVP up. They don't have updated offensive rookie of the year, but you got to think he's the favorite, right?
I would think so. I'm gonna look for it right now. Get me wrong, Jaden Daniels possibly still might be the front runner, and I agree with it. But Bo Nix is definitely like, say for example, 2 weeks ago, Jaden Daniels was -150. I would say Jaden Daniels +145, Bo Nix +200. Something like
Ooh.
that.
Yeah, so tough one for the Broncos, but yeah, Denver Broncos continue to roll and don't look now, kid, but they're in the playoffs. They got a 75% chance of making it. They're sitting at the 7th seed, and we'll see. Maybe Ravens lose Monday night, they move up. Chargers staying at the 5 seed. Maybe they move up to the 6 seed. Who knows? But if Bo Nix doesn't turn the ball over and this defense continues to play the way they do, this is a team that could go into playoffs and win a game. I feel more confident in the Broncos than I do the Texans. Is that fair to say?
No, though, just because the Broncos, they've been competitive in a lot of games. They almost beat the Chiefs, and they show up when you expect them not to. Like, a couple, like early on in the season when they won in Tampa. To me, that was an impressive win. I did not see that win coming. We expected the Houston Texans to win against Tennessee, and they didn't. We expected Houston to blow out some of these teams, and they didn't. So right now, Houston, like I said, they regressed a lot in my opinion. And right now, Denver with Sean Payton, hey, Sean Payton has been there. He's done it. It just can Bo Nix live up to the moment. We'll see. You know what this team reminds me of a little bit, Dill? Not saying they're as good or Bo Nix is that,
Mm,
but if they can make it to the playoffs, it wouldn't surprise me if they, surprise a team or two and be like the Green Bay like last year.
mm.
Somehow end up in the division around the playoffs.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think it took him a year, but Sean Payton is actually building something. I don't like the guy, but I'll admit it. He's no, I don't. But I'm gonna be
Nah.
honest. But he's a great coach. He's a Hall of Famer, and Sean Payton preaches: do not turn the ball over, and we will be good. Just like what they see what they're doing in L.A. with the Chargers. Justin Herbert hasn't turned the ball over, and look what they're doing: playing good defense, running the ball, and they're in the playoffs because of that. So. I would agree. Let's go to the next game. Packers win 38-10. This game closed at 6.5. We covered it when it was 3, but then we got the news Brock Purdy winded up going out. Nick Bosa winded up not playing this game. This team is just riddled with injury right now. This is not a good team. Too much to overcome. Braylon Allen, he's okay, but he's obviously not the guy as well. Jordan Love, I thought, played well. He had the 2 touchdowns. Romeo Dobbs had a good game, especially early on. Tucker Kraft, he wanted getting in the end zone. They ran the hell out of the ball, though. Josh Jacobs, 3 tutties on the ground, over 100 yards. He got the game ball, has to. George Kittle, he tried to do everything he could, but it's just not enough. Even with CMC, that defense is good enough where they were able to stop him. Xavier McKinney, I mean, the guy continues to deliver. We say it every week on our power rankings. He changed his secondary, not just the secondary, but he changed his whole defense. They continue to get turnovers, and this is a good team, kid. I like the Packers. Didn't matter if we got the 3 or you laid the 6.5. They covered that.
Yeah, Dale. I understand Brock Purdy wasn't able to go, but I'm gonna be honest, I don't think it would have made a difference. I think Green Bay would have won this game easily. San Francisco's just been a little disappointing this year. Even if, let's just say, give him Brock Purdy, no Bosa, no Trent Williams. George Kittle, I understand he had that TD. He's still coming first game back from injury. Debo Samuel hasn't looked great. I just don't think they would have won this game even without Brock Purdy. So to me, it was their best interest for him to rest up that shoulder. Honestly, Dale, the Packers, I understand Jordan Love wasn't a great game. Josh Jacobs ran the hell out of the ball. And honestly, Dill, they were just running the ball hard. Jalen Reed, Christian Watson a couple times. Like I said, Josh Jacobs and Jordan Love. Though he did what he needed to do. Didn't really, try to play hero ball. Like he stuck to the game plan. I think LaFleur had a tremendous game plan. We're just gonna run the ball down the throat, and they were able to do that quietly. Dill, I understand a lot of people want to say, "Oh, San Francisco offense ain't the same. Their defense ain't the same, Dill. How many times we saw a San Francisco team consistently get ran on this many times in the season, Dill? So give credit to Green Bay, sticking to the game plan. Defensively, we know what McKinney could do with Quad Alexander returns from injury. It could be one of the best secondaries in all of football. Josh Jacobs has been running the hell out of the ball right now. Quietly, Dale. I don't know if you know, he's number 3 in the NFL in rushing. Give credit to the front office for signing Josh Jacobs. Right now, Green Bay gonna be in the thick of things. Still, watch out.
Yeah. By the way, I just looked up at every book that I have. No offensive rookie of the year odds.
Yeah,
Well, I'll
yeah,
try
yeah.
to get them to you, but yeah, they don't have it. But I want to say this though with the 49ers, clearly not the same team. They made the change to the defensive coordinator. I think their defense, yeah, say what you want, they're hurt. But changing that defensive coordinator, I didn't think was the right move. And also, back-to-back Super Bowl appearances, or especially last season, they're in a slump right now. We even said during their futures, 11 and a half wins was just too much. Coming back, I took the under. I don't know about you, but we I think you did too. I just think that was a lot of games to ask for this team. We didn't know the certainty of CMC. He wound up missing the first 7-8 weeks of the season. So it was just a lot. They are sitting right now at the 10th seed. They have a 40. Right now, they have an 18% chance of getting in, but if they win, they jump to a 40% chance. I think they're done, kid. I don't think they make the playoffs this season.
I think it's tough. Can they? Yes, just because the West is open. I give them a better opportunity to win the division do I have them making the wild card slot. Let's just say that. Right now, San Francisco, I mean, Seattle and Arizona 6-5. Let's see what the Rams do tonight. But the Rams are what 5-6. It's a small chance. After tonight, they'll Seattle and Cardinals are 6-5, or the Rams are 6-5, or the Rams are 5-6 right there with the 49ers, and they're just a game back from the division. So I think they'd be just fine. They just need to win 4 out of the last 5. If they manage to do that, I think they could possibly win the division.
Speaking of the West, let's go to the Seattle and Arizona game. Arizona, they wind up fucking me for my lock. This, like you said, this division is up for grabs. Seattle, they own the tiebreaker right now, sitting in first at 6-5. Big win at home. That's 2 wins in a row right now. Game goes way under the total of 46.5. But yeah, I just wasn't right. I thought they were gonna pound the rock. Trey Benson, James Conner, he wound up getting hurt. They just couldn't run the ball to save their life. Give credit to Mike McDonald. I gave him shit, didn't think he was a good coach. Played 2 really good games back to back. Geno Smith had an okay game. Definitely better than Kyler Murray. I'll say that fucking much. That one interception, what are we doing? What are we doing? I mean, you played a pretty good game up to that point, and then you just kind of have a brain fart. I just didn't know what he was doing. JSN, Jackson Smith and Jigba, he's had a breakout season. Say what you want about Geno. He's really come on this season. He had another touchdown, 77 yards on 6 catches. DK had a pretty good game, but back-to-back wins for the Seattle Seahawks, and they're sitting in first place.
Yeah, Dale. You got to give McDonald some credit. Seattle just 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, we thought they were done. Now, coming off 2, let's just say gotta have it games. Now you're right on the top of the division. Gotta give McDonald credit. Give credit to Geno Smith. Past 2 weeks hasn't played great, but played well enough to win this game. Beat San Francisco last week. Not beat the division leader in Arizona this week. To be honest, still give McDonald credit for having a great defensive game plan, but I think we got to blame Kyler Murray in this offense. Yeah, Kyler played pretty well, not great, but they couldn't wasn't able to run the ball. And besides McBride, Dill, he was honestly the only vocal point for the offense. Michael Wilson, 2 catches, 54 yards. Uh, my, my, uh, Harrison Jr., 3 catches, 47 yards. So if it wasn't for McBride, though, you could honestly say Kyler Murray would have had a quiet day. Only 6 points offensively, just 2 field goals. Give credit to Seattle. Defensively played great. And then, Geno Smith, doing his thing, going with the flow. Kenneth Walker not able to run the ball well. If they able to establish the run and continue playing this tremendous defense like they played these past 2 weeks still, I think Seattle has a great shot to walk away with the division. I still like the Rams, in my opinion, because they're healthy right now with Sean McVay and Matthew Stafford. But to be honest, you can't deny how well Seattle played in the division these past 2 weeks.
Yeah, so overall, I was good on most of my plays and leans, but man, teaser down the drain with the Texans. Lock Cardinals fucked me. And then the Bears, they covered, but they didn't win outright. So wasn't good, but I was right with the Dolphins, the Buccaneers, the Broncos, the Packers. We had some rights and we also had some wrongs as well. Kid, how did you do this week?
This week so far, I think I'm 9-5. I think. Hold on. I think I'm no 11-5, Dill, because I did go 2-0 on Thursday night, Dill. So had myself a good week. Let's talk about it. I hit on the like I said, Thursday night, Jerry Judy over the game over 36.5. Tampa -5, lock of the day. Mike Evans over. I took the under for Detroit, Indy under 50.5. Took Nico Collins over 73. Took Dallas plus 10.5. Took Carolina plus 11. Took Green Bay outright. And then my losses, I was heavy on the Patriots. I took Hunter Henry over 45.5. He goes for 44. It
Oh,
is what it is.
dagger.
Patriots took them plus the points. They got blown out. And I also took the under in that game. If Christian Gonzalez doesn't score late, that hits the under. And then I took the under for Dallas. If the last 3 minutes doesn't go crazy, that hits. So almost a great day, but a good day overall.
So we're reading the board pretty well, which is a good sight to
Mm-hmm.
see. Kid, before we get to Monday night and our plays for the Harbaugh Bowl, real quick, NCAA, that I did have a good weekend in. I go 6-3, Indiana. First time I doubt them, or not doubt them. First time I doubt the Buckeyes. They wind up blowing them out, and they wind up covering the 10.5, whatever you're able to get. SMU -10.5, never a doubt. Minnesota plus 11.5. They almost outright, kid. They almost beat Penn State by 1 at home. Arizona State, they laid the 3.5 against BYU. That was a good game. Stanford plus 14.5. Too many points. They lost by 3. Keep faded Texas. I took the plus 20.5. They lost Kentucky, but they still covered. Tough loss for our Buffaloes, kid. Like Prime said, they controlled their own destiny and they fumbled it. Shador Sanders didn't look good. Pushing a ref, you can't do that. It's not a good look. I understand he was frustrated and they were it was a physical game. I don't know if you caught it, but it was a very, very physical game. Travis Hunter is still the best player in college football. I'll die on that hill. Army got blown out in the BK at Yankee Stadium. Oh, that was a bad game. And then Vanderbilt. I mean, we're Vanderbilt fans low key, but they had every opportunity to win that game, and they did cover the 8.5 though. So 6-3 on the weekend for me, kid. How did you do for college?
I went 0-3, Dill.
Oh,
We're still up for college football, shockingly, but humbling experience. Thank God they didn't took Bama because it would have been 0-4. But like you said, Army got blown out, and this is why I don't touch Buffalo because I think Buffalo has 3 losses in a season. Every time I betted them, they lost. So officially done betting the Buffs. Because every time I fade them, they win. Every time I'm on them, they lose. So I'm done with the Buffs.
what happened to Alabama? Jalen Milroe did not look good. 3 interceptions. They fall to 8-3. This is the updated top 25 rankings came out. Do you know where Alabama is now?
21.
No, not like that. They're 13th, but I think that's very generous. If I'm being honest, at 8-3, they're the only 3 team. Oh, and Ole Miss. Ole Miss is at 15. But kid, do you think there's any shot that they sneak in or that the committee puts a 3-loss team? That's granted if they win out as well.
I say they get in. I think they'll is goodbye to the SEC championship game.
Oh yeah, that's down. That's done.
That's done.
Yeah.
But if they could, have an impressive, like a 30-point win here, 20-point game there, and maybe one of these teams, one of these fraud teams, lose. Hey, maybe they get in. I give them a shot. I say they get in. No SEC game, but I say they get in. Maybe face up, one of the number 1 and number 2 teams, and maybe upset early or they get bounced early.
Yeah, we'll see. It's definitely not the same Alabama team that we have grown to love, kid. But when you have a good week, I have a bad week. So we pick each other up when we're down. But before we get into Monday Night Football, a quick word from our sponsor. We are brought to you each and every episode by Viva Tequila Seltzer, the most refreshing hard seltzer on the market, hands down. There's no wonder why Viva was voted #1 hard seltzer in the world by San Francisco World Spirit Competition. With only 88 calories, 0 carbs, 0 sugar, and a light 4.5 ABV, Viva is the perfect drink for your post-game celebration, as it was created with that active lifestyle in mind. We flavor our tequila seltzer because flavor is the spice of life, and we like our drinks with just a kick, just like how we like our lives. Whether it's Huckleberry playing around a golf with the boys or a new flavor, coconut, watching Monday Night Football, it doesn't matter. Our favorites pair perfectly with our Artisanal Blanco tequila for that subtle and refreshing drink. Our belief here at the Dream Wager and at Viva is to live long, live well, and live it up. All right, kid, let's get to it. Monday Night Football out in LA. Chargers hosting the Baltimore Ravens. Ravens laying 2.5 on the road, -146 on the money line. Chargers +124, home dogs, total 50.5, kid. Honestly, I love the Ravens, but I can't believe they're laying 2.5 here on the road. I don't like it. I'm going to take the Chargers here. I think they're the right side. I think they're the better team. I think they're better coached. And outside of Lamar Jackson, I think defensively, I trust the Chargers more than I do that Ravens defense right now. So I'm going to take the Chargers. I don't need the +2.5. I think there's a good teaser option to get them to +8.5 if you want to do something with Thanksgiving. But I like the Chargers here. I'm going to take them on the money line +124, kid. What do you like?
I'm a little surprised you said all that. I'll agree with one thing. The Chargers defense is better at the moment than the Baltimore Ravens still, but I think the Baltimore Ravens bounce back in this one. Out of the Brother Bowl, it's gonna be a tough matchup. I feel like off a loss, I think the Ravens. This is a good bounce back situation. The Chargers have been rolling. Chargers been rolling. Though, gotta give credit to the Chargers. What they won, 4, 5 straight games. Justin Herbert honestly been playing lights out. Defensively, they've been the top 10 defense the whole season long. I just feel like Lamar and Derrick Henry got something to say. Big stage Monday night in LA. And I know I've been bashing Justin Tucker all season, saying he's not it no more. I think he has a big game tomorrow, though. It wouldn't surprise me if he kicks a game winner. Give me Baltimore Ravens -2.5. I think he kicks a game winner. I'm gonna say 27-24. Baltimore Ravens win a close one.
Now, total, it opened up at 47. It's up now to 50.5. Do you agree with the live movement? Could you see another high scoring game here?
Yeah, I expect, just because one, the Ravens defense is a little shaky. And, yes, the Chargers have a top 10 defense, so I agree with that. But you going against the front runner for the MVP right now, Lamar Jackson, and right now the front runner for Offensive Player of the Year in Derrick Henry. I think points are going to be scored still. Justin Herbert, 4 out of the last 4 weeks, he's been lighting any team up, passing the ball. J.K. Dobbins are running the ball extremely well. And I honestly think right now with the Ravens, they're going to have to wake up right now. And on the Monday night stage, if Lamar wants to solidify himself and be that front runner MVP, possibly go back to back, he has another huge game. Let's just say he goes out there 3 tutties, 250, runs for one as well. Dill, I think he does it if he pulls off the victory.
Now, you mentioned Derrick Henry and Lamar Jackson. I'm glad you did, because I'm my first player prop. I'm going to go take Lamar Jackson over 235.5 passing yards. Say what you want about the defense, but this offense has been one of the best offenses in the league. They're ranking top 5 in every major category, yet they were just held to 16 points in week 11 against the Pittsburgh Steelers. Obviously, Lamar had a quiet game. He was 16 for 33, just 207 yards. I just don't expect that to happen. The Chargers do have a top 10 defense, and they have a respectable pass defense. They're 12th in the league against the pass. However, I do think this could be a really good game for him. He's hit this over in 5 of his last 6 games before last week against Pittsburgh. Cleared this number by 45 yards at that. So we're seeing high totals as well. I just don't think Lamar Jackson is one to struggle on back-to-back weeks. I think he could have a big game. You're mentioning Justin Tucker. I think Lamar Jackson has a big game tomorrow night. So I'm going to take over 235 yards, passing yards for Lamar Jackson. What do you got, kid?
Yo, I'm telling you right now, if you like his over, I'm surprised you're taking the Chargers. Because if he goes for over his passing total, I think it might be a blowout. We already know what they're gonna do offensively, but if he goes out there throws for 275 or something like that, Dill, it might be a long day. I'm going the opposite side, Dill. I'm with you. I'm with you. I got the Ravens, so I'm going the opposite side with the quarterback over. Dill, I did my homework a little bit. I think you'll appreciate this. The starting quarterback for on the opposite side of the Ravens is 8-3 over this total mark. They'll give me Justin Herbert over 256.5. Like I said, quarterbacks are 8-3 against the Baltimore defense at this number. Week 1, Mahomes. Week 2, Gardner Minshew did it. Dak did it week 3. Josh Allen wasn't able to do it week 4, but we went back at it. Jaden Daniels week 6. Uh Baker week 7, Winston week 8. Bo Nix didn't do it. They played well. Ravens played well that day, and they didn't do it last week against the Steelers. Give credit. I think Justin Herbert keeps the streak alive. Though I think he gets it back on going. I think he'll make it 9-3. Give me Justin Herbert. And by the way, Justin Herbert also went over this mark 4 out of the last 5 weeks. Still, like I said, he's been rolling. I think he'll have a great game. I just feel like Baltimore outguns him. Give me Justin Herbert over 256.5. And judging off these last 5 weeks, this number is just too low.
Love it. Kid is doing the homework. I love it, kid. I love the stats you're bringing. It's crazy. We were actually going the two opposite sides with quarterbacks and
Yeah,
two opposite sides.
that's what I said. I'm like, that's crazy, but I'm doing the same thing. So I had to poke fun at you real quick.
That's funny because Elvis and I don't discuss our plays prior to us recording. So that is funny how we went this opposite sides for the side and for the player prop.
It looks like we both gave out some winners just now. That's what I'm saying.
Oh yeah. We definitely gave out some winners, kid. Well, good luck. Hopefully it's gonna be a good game. I expect it to be a really good game and a fun game at that. Let's go to the association, kid. 9 games on the slate for Monday. Got some good games as well, kid. What are we feeling here for Monday night?
It's a great Monday night. Today I'm coming off a great day as well. Right now, did I go undefeated? No, I went 4-1. I took James Harden over 8.5. He got to 8 assists, but today I did pretty well. So be careful tomorrow. I did go 4-1 today, so be careful tomorrow, people. Let's start it off 7:00 start. Orlando Magic taking on the Charlotte Hornets. Still, Orlando Magic been playing pretty good basketball. Give me the Magic -2.5 on the road. They won 4 out of the last 5. An impressive win the other day against the Lakers on the road. I think against Charlotte, though, I think the number is too low. I wouldn't be surprised if Orlando win this game by double digits. Give me the -2.5. Oh, I see threes right now, so shop around. I wouldn't be surprised if it gets a little higher by tomorrow. Next game, Boston Celtics taking on the Los Angeles Clippers. Clippers did beat the fellow 76ers tonight. 76 is just not a good team at the moment. I'm gonna lay the -9.5 with the Boston Celtics. Still, they're just one of the best teams in all of NBA. And to be honest, Clippers a little older. I don't expect them to bounce back off of back to back like the Boston Celtics will. Give me the Celtics -9.5. Next game, Dallas Mavericks taking on the Atlanta Hawks. Basically at a pick 'em. Hawks slight favorites, laying 1.5 -125 on the money line. Give me the dogs. Give me the Dallas Mavericks. If you want to take the +2.5, by all means, give me them straight up on the money line +110. I think the Dallas Mavericks, even though without Luka Doncic, they still got Kyrie, they still got Clay, they still got a pretty good supporting cast. Give me the Mavericks as the dog of the day. Next game, Dill, your New York Knicks taking on the Denver Nuggets. Knicks coming alive now,
A little
coming
bit.
alive. But with Dill, we know that air's a little thin up in Denver. Give me Denver Nuggets -3 at home. Hate to say it, but I kind of like saying it. Dill.
Joker's back too. He had a kid. Shout out him.
Yeah, shout out Joker. Dill. My last play of the day. OKC taking on the Sacramento Kings. Over and sitting at 223.5. Dill. Give me the -4.5 with the
Mm.
OKC Thunder. I understand they got no Chet Holmgren deal. I'm not too worried about it. I think OKC still win this game by at least 6 or 7 points. Give me the 4.5 with OKC.
It's crazy because in the preseason we were high on Sacramento. We thought they were gonna kind of a 500 team right now. Malik Monk
Yeah.
is hurt. They're dealing with some injuries though.
I thought, DeMar DeRozan would be a little more impactful. I thought DeAndre Fox, even though he is an all-star, I thought he would have took that superstar step. We already know Sabonis is a walking double-double. They got the pieces. Murray, I think we both like him. He's emerging as well, but he's not really taking that all-star step. And DeAndre Fox not really taking that superstar step.
Not touching the 12.5 with the Golden State Warriors against your Nets.
I'll be honest, that's a lot of points. I
It
do
is.
lean my 12.5. I do like the plus 12.5, but I don't want to, just give y'all, biased opinion.
Yeah.
So I just stood away. There's enough
Smart
games
man.
enough games to talk about. So I just
Yeah.
stood away.
Appreciate it. Well, kid, good luck on the hardwood. Good luck. Let's finish week 12 strong. Any last words for the people before we get up out of here?
Now let's just have a good Monday night, and we'll be right back on Tuesday night, Wednesday episode for a nice Thursday. Loaded slate deal.
Loaded. We got Thursday. We got a triple header, obviously, for
and
Thanksgiving.
Then we got a game
and then
Friday.
Black Friday, we're going to cover as well, kid. We are locked and loaded. Kid, good luck. God bless. We'll see you guys